Hey, what's up, y'all? I'm gonna do a birth chart reading on Charlie Kirk, and I'm kind of glad I'm doing it because I don't know anything about him. I don't know him. What I know about him is that he passed away, he was killed, and that he was a Christian, and that he was very devout to his religion, and he was also very conservative politically, and I think I'm almost positive he was a Republican politically, and that's really all I know about him. And I just know a lot of the backlash and the aftermath of his murder. So I thought I would look at his chart. Um, the first thing I'm gonna do, I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna be completely respectful and I'm gonna be completely objective. I'm just gonna tell you what these energies tell me, and that's it. I'm gonna leave politics out of it because yeah, that's my choice. Okay, so he's got his sun and Jupiter in Virgo in a star called Chitra. When men have sun and Chitra, they're very smart. They're very intelligent. They're very methodical. They're very left brain type people. They're very they make good engineers. They're very good at math. They're very good at coding. They're very good leaders. Jupiter is a star ruled by Mars, so they are. This is actually a good chart for being in the military. Actually, I don't know if he comes from military people, but this is a good This is a good chart for like a high discipline lifestyle. And he's also got Jupiter conjunct his sun. So whatever your sun touches, it really puts a light on the qualities of whatever planet it touches. So when he was born, the sun and Jupiter were in the relatively same space in the sky. And so Jupiter is a very philosophical planet. It's a very male planet, like a very masculine planet. And it's also the planet of the father and the husband, and it rules over your progeny. It rules over. It makes you very philosophical. Like I said, it can be like either philosophical and or spiritual. So I do know that he had a wife and children, and so for a man to have his sun conjunct Jupiter, and I already know he has a wife and children, this means that he was a really good parent. He was a very involved family member. Virgo, Jitra is a star in Virgo, right? So he's got his sun and Jupiter in Virgo. Virgo is very servicing. Virgo is very, again, like I said, disciplining. Virgo is the service, right? So a lot of nurses, like I said, army people, military people, doctors, nurses. I just said nurses. Sorry, I'm repeating myself today. Teachers, even like down to the more working class, like waitresses, anything that's like service oriented, the service industry, the hospitality industry, that's definitely Virgo. But Virgo, especially in Chitra, because it's Mars, it's definitely using your strength and your vitality and your what's it called, your ability to fight as a service. So I think I did hear him say that he always felt more called to be of service in a more like aggressive way. I think I did hear him say that. A Mars is a warrior, so Mars likes to be in the military, and and I'll let you know kind of the more shadow part of Mars. Mars can be a little controlling. Mars can be, Mars can be too combative. I do see them because they're so smart and because they have like a lot of this abundant energy, aggression. I do see them like kind of like not knowing how to yield when getting into like a debate and stuff like that. I can see it like I've been friends with Chitra people, and literally it was sometimes it was like even hard to have a conversation because I just felt like every conversation turned into some type of debate to which they could use that Mars energy to just keep going and going and going. And I'm just like, what the fuck? I just said, how are you? Like, I just want to talk and have a friendly rapport, just a fun little back and forth. You're turning it into this like debate where I'm trying to win and where I'm trying to like, I find myself defending what I'm saying. And now we're getting into an argument, and you know what I mean? So it's like shit that people can tend to do that. And I know that he was very good at those. I can't remember what it's called. It's like when you go to colleges and you have like this very, very very unique idea, or you're very set on your idea, and you're trying to get people to like change your view on that. That is so Chitra, because Jupiter's here. Jupiter's philosophical, so they're talking about their philosophy, and then Chitra being a Mars ruled nakshatra, like they'll fight to defend it, right? So that what he was doing was actually very, very, very Chitra. So yeah, but like I said, in the end of the day, it's Virgo, and Virgo likes to serve. Virgo is a service person. Actually, women who are very heavy Virgo, and I would say me included, because I'm gay, and gay guys, they kind of tend to express themselves more feminine, or they're more in touch with their feminine energies. You know what I mean? But women with a lot of Virgo, a lot of times they'll be so spiritual. Well, they'll actually be nuns a lot. I got that information from Claire Nocti. But she showed like this video of Virgo expressing itself so much through like religious means, priests, pastors, nuns, like people who are in the church, people who have a lot of devotion and dedication to service oriented things. A lot of them are very Christian. Like I said, I mean, the ancient symbol for Virgo is a nurse arriving at the river, because you're on the boat, they're meeting you, and they have medicines and foods. And it's so fun. That's such a beautiful image, because like you think about the fact that the river and you're on a boat, that actually a lot of time is a metaphor for like being in the spirit world. And what is it? And nowadays, well, through all of time, right? Like when we're born, who's there to meet us? Yes, your mother, but also a midwife or a nurse, someone with materials and tools to make sure you're happy and healthy and you're taken care of. So it's kind of like, and like I said, nurses, midwives, doctors, teachers, all that is sixth house Virgo. So, I mean, the energy aligns, doesn't it? So that there's definitely that kind of like honestly feminine energy in him, and which makes sense because opposites attract, right? Feminine loves masculine. His Venus, which is the wife, is in the very masculine star of Uttara Falguni. That's also Virgo. So his Venus is that's conjunct his sun. So that means there's just so much with him and his lover, him and his wife, whatever. There's just going to be so much like compatibility. There's going to be so much easiness. There's going to be so much like they're on the same page with a lot of things. Like it's just such a it's an easy relationship, and not to downplay a marriage and having children. Not that that's like so easy, but for some people, I mean, they get along really well, and they have a good system, and that's I do see that. I also see, interestingly enough, because I don't know him or his wife, but this would suggest that his wife actually is very not dominant, but she's very like headstrong. She definitely has a strong head on her shoulders. She's definitely like her own person. She's definitely not some meek type of person. She's kind of like quote unquote a real one. Whatever that means for you. For me, that means someone who holds it down, holds the house down, but is also very smart and intelligent, someone who you can't run over, someone who you can't push down, someone who fights back, So, but it's also funny because Uttara Falguni is that's a star in Virgo that's kind of known for being a model wife. So someone who's very beautiful, someone who's someone who's arm candy, but also someone who's very loving, and someone who has their own light. Like I said, someone who's very independent. Yeah, so this describes his wife. And so because he has so much Virgo energy, that's a very feminine energy. And then his Venus, which is the wife, is actually in a very masculine star. So it's very interesting how those opposites play out. He has his Saturn in Dhanishta. That's really good. That's a really, really good energy for being a good worker, being a hard worker, being very methodical, being disciplined. That's actually the main thing, is being disciplined. That's why, again, this is another indicator saying that he could have been a good warrior, but good soldier, something like that. Because he had good discipline. I mean, when you're the Aquarius is the um fuck, I forgot the word. I'm like blanking out, but basically Aquarius. I mean, Saturn rules Aquarius, so Saturn is right at home here. Um, yeah, and it's in another Mars nakshatra, which is Dhanishta. So Dhanishta is like the ultimate warrior. I know so many of all the military people I know. They're either in Venus or Mars nakshatras. And so he's got like many Mars nakshatras here. Plus his Saturn is in a really good place. I mean, yeah, this is the energy of someone who is a servant, but who is very militant about it, and he's very like conservative and like old fashioned and very structured. And a very sober as well. That's the energy I get from this. Just with all that Chitra, he's got a very strong planet, which is Jupiter conjunct his sun. Plus those two planets they're pretty friendly with each other. Saturn is very, very strong here. I mean, it looks like a very like structured conservative household. One kind of thing I do want to talk about is, well, apparently this really kind of augments the sexual appeal. He has his Venus conjunct his sun, and he also has his Venus conjunct his moon. That actually can make you a good lover. That can make you really good at relationships. That can make you really good. That can actually make you a pretty artistic person. This person could be very artistic as well. It doesn't scream artistic, but it does, because Jupiter is very artistic, and so is Venus. Venus rules the arts, and Venus rules sex and pleasures and things that you harmonize with personally, and it's conjunct his moon. That means that his mind is very wrapped around stuff like that too. So he actually could have a very good eye. He actually could be a very creative person. He could have been a very fertile person as well. Oh, but the sun is conjunct the moon. Yeah, people who have sun conjunct moon, especially in Chitra, they talk too much. They just talk too much. They talk too much. Honestly, they talk too much shit. They talk too much. They talk too much. I don't know what else to say. People who have sun and moon conjunct, what they say, like what's in their mind, they just say it. Like they kind of struggle with diplomacy. They kind of struggle with like and Chitra and Virgo, like I said, is so smart and so cerebral that they'll kind of like fight you with their mind. That's just what they do. Which is fine. It's not a bad thing. But this whole sun conjunct moon stuff, that right there is never like this great quality. Even in ancient Vedic like scriptures, they don't like sun and moon together, because moon is very soft and very kind and needs that coolness to cool down, but it can't, because sun is so brilliant and it's just kind of oversteps and overrules and it's just too much. It kind of comes in with its bright shining light and just kind of ruins everything. So you get that kind of energy with these people. They kind of come in a room and just start talking shit, and it kind of just like changes like the energy of the room. People who have this placement, yeah, they're known for just like bulldozing a conversation or bulldozing something. They kind of yeah. I mean, I don't know what to say. I mean, the sun is all about expression, and the moon is all about the mind. So when they're together, the mind is being expressed. We don't always want to say exactly what's on our mind all the time. But this person, they can tend to do that. And especially if you're going to put it in Virgo or Chitra, because Virgo is the best at picking clean. Virgo's the best at, what's it called? Like correcting things and critiquing things and saying what's wrong with things, and this is how it should be fixed. And Chitra rules. Like Chitra, the deity for Chitra is the cosmic architect. Architects are they're very hyper intelligent. They're very mathematical, very methodical, very So they're gonna come at you. They're gonna attack you with like this high methodology, and it's gonna kind of like it could repel you. It could. So that's the thing about Moon conjunct Sun, but they're very charismatic people because they always talk because they and he's got Jupiter and he's got Venus there conjunct his Sun and Moon, so it's like uh, um on one hand it's like very direct, very intense energy because and you can feel it too, but on the other hand it's all in Virgo, and Virgo is about serving things higher than themselves. And so the right wing Christian community, they actually exalt him and they revere him. They kind of regard him as a martyr for Christ. So that makes a lot of sense. And he's got Jupiter there. Jupiter kind of is like a metaphor for Christ, because Jupiter is the person who sacrifices themselves. That's what Jupiter is. And people who are ruled by Jupiter, they have a problem with being run over and being doormatted all the time, because they turn the other cheek is what they do. And that's what Christ tells us to do. When someone hits you, you don't fight back, you turn the other cheek. And so he has that planet, that energy conjunct his Sun and his Moon. And it's all in Virgo. Like I keep saying, Virgo's the nurse, Virgo is the cosmic healer. So it's a very, very spiritual, like I said, very conservative, very conservative. And his Ketu's in Rohini. Rohini men are have dark hair and they're tall and they're handsome. They're either short and stubby. Sometimes they're really short and very good looking. That I do see that, but I see a lot more Rohini men being very tall and with big thighs and thick and a nice booty, and very handsome as well. Yes, and you know what? Claire Nocti also said that a lot of Rohini people are in the UFC. So I wonder if he likes the UFC, or I wonder if he has a very strong side, or I wonder if he likes wrestling or something like that. But his Rahu is in Anurata. I think that's really interesting too. Anurata is Scorpio. It's a star in Scorpio, but it's ruled by Saturn. So it's a very karmic. You got Saturn and Scorpio here. But like back in the day in old astrology, it wasn't just Saturn that was karmic. Scorpio was karmic too, and Scorpio was like the co-ruler of Saturn back in the day. So for him to have his Rahu in such a karmic place, that actually makes a lot of sense. When I heard, like, when he was 17, he started some company, which is very ambitious, and it aligns here with his Rahu because Saturn can rule the masses. Saturn has a very powerful energy to it, and they put in the hard work to get power, really. The most powerful recent honorata person I can think of is Biden. Biden was an honorata ascendant. Oprah is an honorata sun. So very powerful people are. Honorata is also a financial powerhouse. So there's a lot of power here, and Rahu is like your obsession, your ultimate desire. So he actually, because he's conservative and he has a very good structured work ethic, he actually could have like had the means to achieve this Rahu, which is being kind of a low key like leader, a low key ultimate like leader, but not in a spiritual sense, in a CEO type sense, like owning businesses, being a very important, rich, powerful person. And it's interesting because he said that he renounced a lot of his old ways to be like a Christian. So I think that's interesting too. Because his Ketu's in Rohini. Rohini people are actually a lot of times atheist. So I wonder if he actually had kind of struggles with that in his youth, if he was like an atheist when he was young or something like that. But Rohini is Moon, and Moon can tend to follow. Moon can tend to like let their minds kind of be programmed. So that's not a Rohini thing, but it's kind of more of a Moon thing. And Moon does rule Rohini. So if he go, and we in the old astrology business, we like to go towards our Ketu. So him renouncing a lot of his worldly ways and going into Christianity like full force, that actually would be more aligned with his Ketu in Rohini versus the opposite, which is his Rahu in Anuradha, which was the CEO, right? So it looks, and I think he was like 17 when he started that company. So this would mean that like he went towards his Rahu a lot when he was a teenager, and then somewhere along the lines he actually went back towards his Ketu, which is kind of like following a cosmic father, following a cosmic, leadership role, following something like that, which totally makes sense because he's so Virgo. That's what Virgo does, right? Virgo. Anyway, never mind. I think that's enough, guys. Okay, well, rest in peace, Charlie Kirk. I hope I did him justice. All right, bye.